Man, growing up was rough. I'm being honest. I grew up without my biological father. He was in and out of prison all my life and most of his life, and I had a couple stepdads along the way, and they were like us, like anybody in this world. They were broken people. And my first stepdad, he was an alcoholic, and my second stepdad, he was a good man, but he made a lot of poor choices along the ways of raising me and showing me what it is to be a man. I remember I used to come home as a kid and even as a high schooler, and man, I used to be so scared. Is my stepdad gonna be drunk tonight? Is he in a good mood? Am I in trouble? These were actual thoughts that ran through my head, and I remember I'd come home and immediately run to my room and just hope that nothing bad happened. I wasn't in trouble. I wouldn't get yelled at, or I wouldn't be punished. And that's what I lived with growing up. And even into high school, all I wanted was to be accepted. I just wanted to be loved. I wanted to be shown that love that my father never showed me. And my father was never there. I longed so much to be accepted by people, because I constantly felt like I was rejected by my father. So growing up, I either didn't have a father figure, or I had constantly poor examples of what a father figure should be. I had a very fun high school experience. I was the popular kid. I was captain of my football team. I broke some records for weightlifting, and I was very well known. And I used my popularity to find my hope and that love that I had longed for, but it never really satisfied. It never really did anything. And one day, one of my good friends invited me to this place called Gravity. She said it was youth group. I wasn't really about it because I thought church was kind of boring and dumb, if I'm being honest. And anyways, I finally went. It was crazy. There was like a few hundred kids there, and all my age, and we're all 16, 17 years old, and people were just praising God, and I was so confused. Because I remember growing up, I'd always hear about God, but what constantly ran through my mind was that if God was anything like the father figures I had growing up, I didn't want anything to do with him. Anyway, so I went, I fell in love with Jesus that night, my first night at this youth group, and man, it completely changed my life. Here I am, a 17-year-old kid, halfway through my senior year of high school, the kid that throws these massive bonfires, and I decided to really change my life when I encountered the true God, the love of the Father. That popularity and that status that I had in high school, instead of using it to throw these massive bonfires, I actually was so impacted and so inspired by the youth group that I went to that I, in turn, decided to make a school club called Agape, which is Greek for unconditional love. And what it was just a youth group inside a school, and we met weekly, and we all came together and learned more about Jesus and the Bible, and just loved on one another. And so this school club, Agape, it just kept growing and growing and growing, and I didn't think it would go anywhere, to be honest with you, but even years after being out of high school today, the club still goes on. For me, one of the most unfathomable things about God is that everything I longed for as a child, everything that I did not have, is everything that God is. Man, if you're anything like me, and you might have a skewed perspective on who God is and what God stands for, can I just say that God's not a God of hate. God's not a distant God. God's a God of love, and he's very near, and he's very real, and he's so eager to be in a relationship with anybody that accepts him. And that is what makes me come back to him over and over and over again. It's because he exemplifies exactly what a perfect father should be. My name's Ray. Thanks for listening to my story.
That is it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe so you not miss any future content.